It's pretty amazing to me how resilient some of our lakes, reservoirs, bays, and river systems are. They can undergo some horrific circumstances and still manage to come back strong. Circumstances such as drought, big floods, wildfires, disease like golden algae that produce bait fish kills and game fish kills, and yet they're still able to come back quickly and produce good fishing in a relatively short period of time. Today's happy story is of just such a lake and just such a circumstance. I'm really glad you're along for the fun and the fishing. Stay tuned. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors Southwest.
So this is Lake Texoma, gigantic lake situated on the Oklahoma-Texas border. Now, when the year 2015 started, this lake was about 9 feet low and covered about 87,000 surface acres. By the end of May 2015, the lake was 32 feet high and covered 119,000 surface acres. That's what 51 inches of rain in one area will do even to a giant lake like this. Now, the high water level wasn't necessarily the biggest problem. The Ouachita and Red Rivers feed this impoundment, and they are red. It's that red clay, and the entire lake got blasted with an infusion of bright red clay, and you couldn't see 1 inch in the water. Frankly, I don't even know how those stripers survived, but somehow they did. The lake is quickly returning back to normal level. The water is clearing and the fishing is beginning to pick up. On today's show, we're going to go out for the first time since the floods of 2015 and give the striper fishing a shot, see what's happening. It's going to be a lot of fun, and while we're doing that, we're taking you around the region for your latest fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters. Right now, we're going to get ourselves out in the Nitro Z8, do a little scouting on Texoma. While we're doing that, you go back to the FSN studios. Here's your weekend planner.
Hello everybody, the Solinar tables are projecting the best game fish activity over the holiday weekend to take place on Sunday. Look for peak action in the morning to begin at 5:58, while the best evening times will start at 6:24. Expect the sun to rise at 7:04 and set at 7:47, and night skies will feature a crescent moon that's 36% illuminated. We're coming right back with all the current freshwater and coastal fishing information from around the area, plus current Bassmaster angler Ott Defoe joins us to answer this week's Ask the Pro question about smallmouth bass fishing. First though, here are a few entries from the Costa Catch of the Week contest. These photos didn't win, but we still thought you might enjoy taking a look at some of these good catches. We'll have this week's winner towards the end of today's program.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Buy Lose, setting a new standard of fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And by Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
There's one. Got bit. All right. Come up here. Oh, that's a decent striper. Don't go anywhere. All right, that'll work just to get it started right there. Well, we've made it out here on Texoma, and as we mentioned, things are beginning to get back to normal. Beginning with, the first thing I notice out here is the water color. As I mentioned, it was red, orange, red mud, and you just couldn't see a bait, and the guides here, people that live here, just couldn't catch any fish at all. It's not a bad fish right there, though. I'll take that fish. And he's fat, healthy, been eaten. So back he goes. And as this water's began to clear, and now it's, I would say it's almost back to normal Texoma color. You can see down about 3-4 feet down into the water, something like that. Here's the one little key that's going on with these stripers early on as they reacclimate to their normal surroundings once that water has gone back down 32 feet, is that they're staying near deep water. They're staying near the river channel. So they're not back up in the flats. So you've got to stay on little points, ridges, and humps that are just off the 70-foot deep river channel, either the Washita River channel, which is where I'm sitting right now, or the Red River channel, which is back a few miles behind us. So that's your first key right there. Stay near deep water where those fish can run out of deep water feed and then run back to deep water where they can feel safe until things settle out. All right, we've got to start. Let's get you some fishing reports from where you live.
Hi folks, this week's Lone Star Lakes is brought to you once again by the Mad Dog Moore Memorial Bass Tournament. September 12th, Oak Ridge Marina on Lake Fork, a $3,000 cash first prize for the winning team, and all of the proceeds benefit the Shriners Hospitals for Children. Now this week we're talking about Choke Canyon, which has made a great rebound since the water levels came back up. It was once known as a big bass lake, and there are a lot of big bass still in the lake. However, it's numbers now. There was a phenomenal spring spawn, and there is a late summer spawn going on. So in the future, Choke should have that big bass reputation reestablished in no time. Right now, throw your moving baits, your spinner baits, your traps, your Sinkos. Keep that up shallow in flooded brush. As the day progresses, you'll want to follow main lake points out a little bit deeper with things like Carolina rigs, Texas rigs, and drop shots. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by the Mad Dog Moore Memorial Bass Tournament, September 12th, Oak Ridge Marina on Lake Fork. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, Texas Outdoors Journal brings you this week's report, and our September issue is now on sale to kick off hunting seasons and the beginning of fall fishing. Pick up a copy of Texas Outdoors Journal on newsstands or subscribe securely at texasoutdoorsjournal.com or call 800-222-4TOJ. Well, the last holiday weekend of summer is upon us. To avoid crowds, fish less pressured areas in the back bays and lakes or along the beachfront. With temperatures starting to moderate, birds have begun to work on Sabine as well as in the Galveston Bay complex. Look for the deep shell bite to continue. Grass beds and shorelines in West Matagorda and Espiritu Santos Bay have seen some good redfish activity. Schooling activity all on the Texas coast will be increasing. Now, anglers fishing the surf have been rewarded with solid trout on topwater lures and live bait. The backside of St. Joe Island, flats out of Rockport, as well as either side of the Corpus Christi Ship Channel are all set for some good fishing around channels and drops. From the JFK Causeway to the Land Cut, the upper Laguna Madre continues to produce fish. Baffin's rocks are giving up some long but skinny fish. From Port Mansfield to Port Isabel, the flats continue to be hot spots, fish potholes and grass beds near deeper water. This weekend, Saturday has a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides. Sunday has a single tide schedule of 1 high and 1 low tide. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Oh my gosh, look at my graph. My graph is just completely lit up with fish. There's got to be one in here. Here, he's got it, he's got it. I got one. I mean, I saw all those fish on that graph. Striper. I think I can swing him aboard. All right. All right, we got us another one. Welcome back, everybody. We're on Lake Texoma today, and Man, I'll tell you, it's been a little bit of a frustrating day so far because I have seen a ton of fish on my sonar. Doggone it, be still while I show these people what a Texoma striper looks like. Back he goes. And I'm gonna scroll my graph back and just give you a quick look here, but man, these fish were just completely lit up. If you're coming here, you shouldn't come here thinking of the old days where you'd have a limit by 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. But it is a great sign to see that these fish are on the way back and that you can catch some now. I wanna show you how bad this got. There were a lot of boat docks and boathouses that sustained a lot of damage. Not from a lot of wind, but that the lake just got so high that they floated up on their piers, and then just a little bit of wave or wind action just really does a lot of destruction. Been through a rough time, it's on the way back, and we, as you can see, we are able to catch a few stripers out here. I'm throwing a spoon, big striper spoon, and a small spoon, and what I'm finding is they actually want the little one more than they want the big one, just a little small, heavy jigging spoon. So we'll fish around out here and see what else we can find. Texoma on the way back. Here's some fishing and lake reports from your backyard.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with your Fox Sports Outdoor Report. We're talking Louisiana saltwater fishing this week, talking Lake Calcasieu. As you can see here, we had a great catch of fish today. It was calm. We were able to get offshore to the close rigs. We got a nice triple tail. We caught pompano. We caught a couple nice reds at the jetties. We got a good box of nice sized trout, got a few mackerel. Tell you what, right now, early in the morning, late in the evening, best time, live shrimp, live finger mullet seems to be the key. There's a few birds starting to work. West Cove, south end of Big Lake, you can catch the trout on soft plastics. But I tell you what, all these were caught on live shrimp, like I said, offshore at the close rigs. We were fishing about 25 foot of water. The whole Gulf Coast right now is on fire in the state of Louisiana, so if you want to go saltwater fishing, now's the time to make a trip. Guys, y'all enjoyed it today?
Had a blast.
Well, I tell you what, that's the Louisiana Saltwater Report. Main thing, get out on the water, bring a kid fishing. I tell you what, this is Captain Kevin Broussard saying happy fishing and may God bless.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Motor Guide Trolling Motors. Introducing the XI5 for ultimate boat control. By Fort Worth Nissan. Fox Sports Outdoors is powered by Fort Worth Nissan. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Feels like a little striper. Oh, whoa. Not very big, but he sure thought he was big. Let's flop that dude in there. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Well, we're still on Texoma today, and I've lost the cameraman. He had other things he had to do and ran out of time. So I've got the little tripod working back here. This is so cool because I'm actually just sitting back here in my back seat. And got the camera on remote control, and I will tell you, it's been a very difficult day. I don't want to try to mislead you at all into thinking that we caught a whole bunch of fish today. Probably between me and my brother, who runs camera for me when I'm in Oklahoma here, we've probably caught 20 stripers in pretty much a full day of fishing, and most of them were just keeper size stripers, about like the one you're seeing my brother catch right here. You can keep these fish, fillet them, they make fantastic eating. We did catch one decent striper that you saw us catch earlier on the show. But again, it's been very difficult, and the fish are difficult to make bite. This has been a real finesse, real finicky deal. The fish have been very scattered. What I've had to do is take a little small spoon, and I'll show you the spoons that we use today at the end of the show on the Academy Right Stuff. But it's taken a real finesse technique. If you watch our show at all, you know that I'm big on catching stripers and hybrids on a reeling technique, on a horizontal presentation. Well, today, stripers have really turned the tables. It's taken a vertical presentation, so what we've had to do is drop the spoon to the bottom and gently lift it up. So drop it, a smooth lift, and then let it flutter back. And a smooth lift, and let it flutter back. And it's that real smooth lift that's caught the fish that we've been able to catch, caught one pretty nice striper and then a bunch of fish about the size of the one you just saw me catch. But the fishing definitely is on the rebound. It hasn't been that long ago when you could not catch a striper of any kind here on this lake because of the muddy water conditions and the flood. So we're headed back towards normal. And right before we get to some more fishing reports here, I want to give you Dan Barnett's phone number. If you'd like to book a guide trip this fall or winter, going into next spring, he's guided here for 39 years. And he knows this lake, and if he can find, if there's a striper to be caught, he will absolutely find it and help you catch it. We'll put his information there up on the screen. Dan Barnett, Lake Texoma. You contact him, and if a striper can be caught here, you'll catch it in Dan's boat. Let's get you some more fishing and lake reports right now from your local area.
Hey, let's talk crappie fishing this week and use Grand Lake as an example. Grand, like many of our big lakes across the state, is back down around normal lake level. Water temperature has dropped about 10 degrees from where it peaked over the summertime. Big schools of shad everywhere. Now, I jumped in the back of the boat with George Tolson. We concentrated on brush piles, 8 to 12 foot of water that were close to deeper water nearby. George was using a baby shad swimmer in monkey milk color. I went with a scent wiggler because I was able to downsize that. We found the bite right off the bat was pretty finicky, so we're having to finesse those baits as much as we could. George used more of a swimming technique with that little baby shad swimmer coming across the top of those brush piles down into a little bit. I went more of a vertical presentation, and I ended up going down to the scent wiggler with just one ball and just the tail section only. Both of us were using 1/16 ounce jig heads. George went with monkey milk color. I went with ghastly minnow and ghost sparkle. Both of those were Bobby Garland Glow colors. Now again, all we caught were white crappie, which, you know, it seems to me like those are the more active species right now. I think a lot of it has to do with those being the shallower species for this time of year. Caught some nice fish. Again, lots of schools of shad everywhere. It took a little more of a finesse to get those fish to bite. Very little action in many cases. Those fish weren't overly active, but we caught some nice crappie doing that. You can do that same thing on many lakes across the state at this time. Find those brush piles where the shad activity is, close to a break line. You're going to catch some nice ones, but one thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. By Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. By Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And by Lowrance Electronics. Find, navigate, dominate.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro feature, where viewers get insider tips from top anglers. This week's question is from Troy, who asks, what are the best lures to catch smallmouth bass? For the answer, we checked with Bassmaster Elite Angler Ott Defoe.
If you're just wanting to target smallmouth bass, a couple of baits that I would suggest you use are smaller swim baits and a drop shot. Those type of techniques, those type of baits, if you're fishing in a lake that's got smallmouth, they're certainly going to catch them. But more so than a bait is the areas that you're fishing. The lakes that I live on, close to me, those lakes, if you're fishing way up in a creek, something like that, you're actually not going to be where many of those smallmouth are. Our smallmouth bass where I live are primarily a main lake-oriented fish. So just keep that in mind. Every kind of lake you're going to fish, if it's got mixed species, if it's got both, there's going to be a type of structure, a type of the lake, an area of the lake where those smallmouth are going to be most popular, and that's where you're going to want to target them.
Thank you, Ott. If you need help from one of the pros, visit foxsportsoutdoors.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit a question. Have a safe and fun Labor Day weekend, and now let's see who's going to be rocking a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
This week's winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest is Chris Hayter of Port Arthur, Texas. He's shown here with a giant 7-pound, 10-ounce flounder he caught at Sabine Lake, Texas. If you'd like to be our next winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest, all you have to do is go to our website, foxsportsoutdoors.com. On the right-hand side of the front page is the Costa Catch of the Week area. Click in that, follow the instructions, send us your photo. You could be our next winner. And if you'd like to see all of the Costa frame and lens styles, go back to the front page of our website, click on the Costa logo, and you can see all of the lenses, all of the frame styles there, including the fantastic frame style I was wearing this week called Manta. Next up on the Academy Right Stuff feature, it's the right gear to catch stripers here at Texoma or anywhere for that matter. And it's one of my chances to use one of my very favorite fishing rods that Lew's manufactures. This is the Lew's Speed Stick Custom Series, the one with the white color on the handles. This one's special. This is the Magnum casting rod, 7 feet, 11 inches long, nearly 8 feet of brute strength and a medium, heavy, or heavy action rod for these stripers. Got it spooled up with 17-pound test Stren original line, which is the perfect line to fish for stripers. We caught them on 2 basic baits today, a big 5-inch spoon and a smaller 1/2-ounce spoon that's about 2.5 inches long. They actually bit the smaller spoon better because they were very finicky today. Lately, I've begun making it a point to tell the clerk at the grocery store or the pharmacy that I don't want my item placed in a bag. You know, those clerks are trained that even if you have one item, they stuff it in a bag and hand it to you. Many times when I tell them I don't want that bag, they'll take my item out, hand it to me, and put that bag in the trash can, where it winds up in our landfills, or even worse, along our roadsides or in our lakes, rivers, and the oceans. They're absolutely polluting our environment. I've become a hater of the single-use plastic bag. Many municipalities across the United States have banned them entirely. Here's the favor that I would ask. Go in there and tell that clerk early. If you've only got a couple of items, I'll carry those. Don't even let them put it in a bag, and don't let that bag go in the trash can. If you must use single-use plastic bags, save those at home, put them in a place where you can collect them, take them back to the grocery store. Almost every major grocery store chain across the country accepts those bags back, puts them into recycling where they can be used again. I hope you enjoyed some of the stripers that we showed you today now that Lake Texoma is back open for business. And you can use some of these same techniques to catch them at your favorite reservoir that has stripers, hybrids, or white bass. Don't forget to join us next week. We'll be on at our regular time, 10:30 p.m. on Thursday, with the repeat airing Saturday morning at 7:30. And you can always catch our latest episode 24/7 on the front page of our newly designed website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Our website has now been relaunched in mobile-friendly format, which means it will show up full size on any device you'd like to view it on, including an Android device, an iPhone, a tablet, or a full-size PC. And you can always click on Archives to see our past episodes and the preview for next week. And you can see lots of how-to videos, product videos. Click on that how-to link that you see on your screen there. And one more reminder, we give away lots of free gear on our Twitter feed at the Twitter address you see on your screen. You can get lots of photos, video, and fishing news that we don't have time for here on the television show. And you can get a lot of that same information on our Facebook page. Be sure to hit the like button. From Lake Texoma, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.